Hello guys, I'm going to put together a quick little video here, and before I tell you what I'm doing, I am not suggesting to anyone or telling anyone to do this to their razor, but I am taking my sway bar off. I don't do a bunch of racing around and doing donuts and stuff like that, to where the body, the sway bar actually will help you keep the body roll down and keep you from rolling probably. But I don't do any of that. I like to rock crawl and stuff like that, crawl through the woods, stuff like that. So I want the articulation. I don't want the stiffness in the back end of the razor to where it makes me feel like I'm going to tip over or put me in a very compromising position. So like I said before, I am not suggesting for anyone to do this. I am not telling anyone to do this. This is my preference. This is something I like to do. Also, I would ask that you like and subscribe. And if you have any suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comment down below. Okay, let's get this started. Okay guys, I did this because I wanted to unhook my sway bar on the back, and I wanted to see if it makes any difference. Okay, the body looks, if you look at it, it's got a slight little angle, but not much at all. I'm going to try to drive the back wheel up on there and see what it does while I have the sway bar still hooked up. So let's give that a shot and see. Tell you right now, the back sway bar is really holding that thing, because look at that lean, and I felt it really bad when I was inside. So let's go ahead and take off the sway bar. You can see it's right here. You can see, I'll set the camera down so it can kind of be a level shot. You can see the body's on a pretty good angle. Can you see that? And it really felt like it inside too. Alright, I'll unhook it and then we'll see. Okay guys, not as bad. I got the sway bar off and it doesn't tilt. When the back wheel hits, it doesn't tilt as bad as it did. See, sway bar's gone. I took it off right there. It's still got a little bit of a tilt, but not bad. See if I can get this camera to stand right there. See, still has a little bit, but when you're inside, it doesn't feel like it kicks you, like in this place, the left wheel going up, it doesn't feel like it kicks you to the right at all. Now, saying this and doing this, I am in no way suggesting anybody at all to take off their sway bars. Okay, I do it because of preference. I don't do a lot of racing around, doing donuts, stuff like that, where I have to worry about body roll. What I do is I like crawling around on rocks. Okay, I don't do the speed anymore like I used to. So this works for me. I'm going to take off my grease fittings that were for the rear sway bar, so they don't get all nasty and corroded. So later, if I decide to sell the machine and upgrade, I can just clean all this up, slip these back in, put it all back on, and I'll be good to go. But yeah, it seems to be a lot better. And as you see, the machine barely has a tilt to it, and that lower A-arm is almost flat. I did, so like I said, I did loosen up the rear suspension a little bit. It was a little too tight. When I took the sway bar off and I drove up on there, I did a test, run. It did still feel a little stiff, so I softened up my rear suspension just one full turn on the spinners, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's the shock adjustment right here on these Fox shocks. See, and I have them marked so I know where to come back to center and what part of the ring, how many times I go around. And all I did was I softened up, went up one turn. That's all I had to do from factory setting, and it feels good. As you see, I'm trying to get you a better angle here. It's kind of hard with the sun. It barely has. That's an 8-inch block, folks. So that one tire sitting up 8 inches, and this body still has a little bit of a tilt from the front, as you see, but I don't want to soften up the rear suspension so much that it feels really saggy in the rear, you know what I mean? But I think if I'm on a trail, and I'll be checking it out here in the next day or so, I think if I'm on a trail and all the other wheels and tires are on different obstacles, rocks, limbs, whatever, as I'm going down the trail or climbing up or in a rut, I think it's going to be fine. I think it's all going to be pretty good. And I don't know if you guys know, I started working on my front brush guard right here. Okay, that is not the finished product. I still have to go up around the headlights. My idea was to come off of, let me see if I can keep you in the, come off of here, and I want to follow this part of the headlight up and like this, just like I did up here. You see how I followed the front of the grill? I want to do that around the headlights. And this here, I'm probably going to come off of this end right here and just come up to like right here, just to kind of protect that plastic if I screw up and hit a tree. So I don't bust my front clip up. And my son has a 3D printer with resin and plastic, and he's going to print me off some caps for the boat hose. This is the boat hose that, for the factory boat. And he's going to print me off some square caps right here if I decide to come above that, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down inside it and then come up like this. I don't know if I got that on camera or not, but it's coming along. Okay, also guys, I don't know if you noticed, but I added a wiper to the windshield. Also, I added the switch for the wipers, which I'm going to get ready to add a windshield washer to it. So I'm going to put a bottle and a pump underneath the hood up there so I can wash the windshield from inside. I got my interior lights that I added. There's the switch. There's the switch for the winch. Also, I got a remote in the glove box, so if I have to get out of the machine, I can. This is the switch for, let's see if I can get down in there, the lights on the back of the razor, which I'll show you those real quick, and then we'll come back to the other ones. I got them up here on the top. Okay, and one on each side. Also, I have my Sasquatch light, okay, this one, which is this one right up here, the big one across the top. And then the other switch, which is this one right here, the other light bar, the small one, and that's for this one right there in the middle. My interior light switch that I showed you in my lights, they're right there, and they work great. They light up the whole cab, and they're LED. What those are lights for your license plate on like a motorcycle, and I put them on here, you know, for interior lights. I did the road legal kit, which is the turn signals and 4-ways and a horn, which I got the key off, so. But here, matter of fact, I can show you where I put those. Here's the horn. Okay, it's a cheap one. I need to put a different horn on there because that sounds really generic. Okay, put the left turn signal on. See where I put that? And because it kind of captures, especially at night, it captures the light in this area right here, so it makes that whole area glow right there. So I thought that was a pretty good idea. Here, I'll put the 4-ways on, and then I'll walk you around and show you where I put all the lights at. As you see, and there's our addition to our family, Millie there. I don't know if you can see that in there, yeah. Okay, we'll come this way. Sorry I didn't clean the machine up, guys. It was really cold here for a while. And see, I put them right there on each side. And of course the rear view mirror. My radio antenna right there. And of course, there's the radio that I'm using in the side-by-side. I probably should have brought that up. When I showed you that, you guys, when I went across it, you guys probably wondered what that was. This is a glove box. This opens up 2 ways. See, it gives me, there's where my handheld cable, for the winch, I could plug it in there. Also, if you flip this up, I could put my phone right in here, seal it so weather don't get to it, and I can have maps running on it, and I will be able to see it right there in that opening. Oh, I guess I could show you the interior lights. Okay, and that's just enough light to where it lights up the whole cab. And if you notice how I did this, see, I just drilled little holes right there and ran a zip tie through it so I can hook up my wires so they don't droop on me. Because when you get off road and start banging around, they'll fall. Also, my windshield, which I don't know if I ever told you guys about that, but see, this has an adjustment to where you can open up that lower part of the windshield. See, and I can let air through. So on a hot, muggy day, I can open that. On a cold, wet day, I just close it and tighten a little knob right there, and we're good to go. I think I about covered everything that we've done to this so far, besides the wheels and tires. These are HD wheels, okay? And I did the Sedonas, the Rockabilly Sedonas, see? Sedona. Rockabilly, and I have to tell you, I like them. They're a comfortable ride. They're smooth. I mean, they're not a real aggressive mud tire, you know, by no means, but it's 4-wheel drive. I haven't got stuck yet. If I start getting stuck a lot, then you'll be seeing a more aggressive tire put on there. But for now, I like these. I'm comfortable with these. I think these will do good on hard pack surface and rock and stuff like that, you know, clay, and I think these will do really good for that. I wasn't impressed with the tires on snow though, but you can't get a tire that will cover everything. You know what I mean? You can try, but you get too aggressive, then it rides like crap on hard pack. You get too aggressive, then you're having trouble on wet rock, where this tire will mold right around rock, you know. So if you're climbing up wet rock, it will just mold right around it and pull you up over it. So there's just some tires will do good for you on certain terrain and some won't, and it's hard to find a happy medium that will take you and do really good on everything that you're going to be on, because once you get off road, you run across a lot of different scenarios on the trails that you're going to be on. Sometimes you're climbing over logs, sometimes you're in mud holes, sometimes you're in mud ruts, sometimes you're on wet clay, sometimes you're just climbing straight up on wet rock, and you know, aggressive tires don't handle it. You know, tires like this would do better on that. So there's just no one tire that you're going to find that's going to do everything you want to do on a trail. Okay. Oh, by the way, here's another thing we added. I just thought of these mirrors, and they fold in. I'll do this one so when I get inside it, I can reach it easier. But they fold in and out, so if you smack a tree limb with it, you know, it's just going to fold in. It won't break it. And I had them on my last side-by-side, and they worked really good. I didn't break any. You know, I smacked them quite a few times on limbs and stuff, but they never broke, so I went and put them on again. Let's see, we did the roof. We did quite a bit to it. I'm just trying to remember everything we done. You know, the winch up front, that is a 5,000 pound winch on there. Let's see, guys, what else did we do? I color coded the vents back here, and soon I think I will be doing a snorkel kit. I'm not sure yet. I don't really try to go anywhere where there's a lot of deep water, you know, so I just pretty much steer clear of deep water. But there are times that you get into a situation and you wish you would have had a snorkel. So you guys have any suggestions on... Oh, here's one thing that I know I'm going to add. I just got to wait to where I can afford it. These fender flares, as you see where my tire set looking down the side of the machine, boy, we hit mud and it just flings it everywhere. So I'm going to have to get some extenders or change these out. And they got ones on the market that are just really wide. They're the same design, they're just really wide. I might do that, or I might just save the money and just put, they got flat flaps right here that just, you know, follow this, and that's all I need is just a little extension. And to replace these, you're looking at like $500, 450, $500, and I don't know if I want to put that much into a fender flare that I might rip off in the woods. The other things that I'll be doing is rock rails and tree kickers on the bottom down there. I just don't have enough time to get everything done, but I will get around to getting that done, and I will show you guys. As a matter of fact, I thought I should have showed you guys how I took the sway bar off, and I didn't even think about it until after I had already taken it off. It wasn't that hard of a deal. Like I said, down here there was one bolt and nut, and then on each side there were 2 bolts and 2 nuts on each side of it, you know, here and on the other side. So it wasn't that bad. It was a little bit of a job wiggling it out of there because I didn't want to take my shock loose. It probably would have been easier if I would have just taken one shock loose, but it wasn't that bad. I just wiggled it around for a minute and I got it out. And so far, I'm waiting for my son to install his radio So I don't know how well this works yet. I do know, because I already busted one of these, I do know I need to get a spring here. So the antenna will just, you know, bob back and forth. And I'll put a tennis ball up here or something so it don't smack against the roll bar. You guys think of anything, let me know. Leave comments down there. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. And like I said, any suggestions, hey, I'm open-minded. You come up with a good idea, I'll give it a shot. But let me know. Okay, everyone. This is something else that I wanted to add to this video. A lot of times when I'm on the trail and I see guys on wet rock, you know, rock shelves, stuff like that, they're burning off all the rubber off their tires because they can't get traction. I don't know why they don't think about letting some air out of their tires. Now, I carry an air pump with me, okay? But most of the time, my tires, no matter the terrain I'm running on, because like I said, I do a lot of rock crawling and, you know, climbing on wet clay, stuff like that. I don't do much in racing and stuff like that. Now, saying that, I have been known to get all over the throttle, but I'm just not out there doing the donuts and stuff. I don't like that. These tires have 5 pounds of air in them. The manufacturer calls for 8 pounds for these tires. And I found by dropping down to 5 pounds, I get a full footprint of my tire. Now, I put 8 pounds in it like the manufacturer said. And I did a tire test, and that's putting down something like a piece of paper or something like that and backing over it and seeing how much of your tread actually touches the ground. Well, when I had 8 pounds in it, and I'll show you here, this part, the very center part, was the only thing that was touching the trail. So I wanted maximum traction, because when you're crawling over stuff, you want your tire to plant itself. You want it to wrap itself around what you're pulling on, you know, trying to get up over. And when you got too much air in your tires, you're just going to bounce. And the faster you make those tires spin, your tire is going to swell. So by having your tire spin so fast on that wet rock or whatever it is you're on, you have less tread touching the surface. So my fix for this situation is I run less air, I want more tread on the ground, and I want more tread wrapping around whatever obstacle I'm trying to climb over. Now, again, I'm going to tell you guys, this is my preference. I'm not suggesting you do it. I'm not telling you to do it, but for me, I find this to be very helpful. Also, I see guys on trails, they got their suspension so tight that they get on any kind of uneven ground. And they got wheels in the air because the suspension, can't give. There's no give in it. So you're not going to get a tire to suck up into your fender well, you know, so you can keep other tires on the ground. They'll be on 2 tires because they got their suspension so tight, they're trying to keep every little inch of ground clearance that they can, and they're sacrificing their traction and the safety of the machine. I mean, you're on 2 tires. If you've ever done that, you know it's not a very good feeling, okay? I soften up my suspension, 1, because I have a bad back, okay? But 2, which is the most important, I'm going to get those tires that are higher on the trail or rock or tree limb or whatever to suck up into the wheel well to keep my other tires still planted on the ground. So I'm getting some traction and I'm not putting all that flex onto my frame. I see this on the trails and it just floors me that people have their suspension cranked so tight that they have no flex, no shock sucking up in, your wheel going up in so the others can stay planted. They got two tires floating because they I guess they're just trying to get every little inch of ground clearance. Well, you know, I'll suggest to people like this: if you want every little bit of ground clearance, put a lift kit on. Soften up your suspension, put a lift kit on. Get the articulation going. And you'll find it'll be a safer ride, it'll feel safer, and it'll be a more comfortable ride. And you'll be able to go more places because you're getting the traction, you're keeping your tires on the ground. So this is my years of experience of being on ATVs and side-by-sides. You never want your suspension so tight. You never want so much air in your tires that they're bulging, okay? I suggest, for especially new people, run what the manufacturer says, okay? But for me, I'm going to run less because I want more of my tire on the ground. I want it to wrap around the object I'm climbing across, so I'm not working the crap out of my machine, and I'm not burning the rubber off my tires because I got too much air in them. So just a tip, guys, you know, think about it, you know, do what makes you feel safe, makes you feel good about your machine. But these are little things that I do, you know. I like to run less air, I like to run softer shocks, you know, I like to run without a sway bar. Not saying that I'm telling anybody or suggesting anybody to do this, you know, it's got to be something you decide on yourself. But this is how I set my machines up, and I'm pretty happy with the setups that I do. Let me know what you think if you try it, or if you already do this, you know, let me know in the comments, you know. Let me know how you feel about it, you know, if it's something maybe you don't like the idea of doing what I do. Let me know, and let me know why, okay? We'll have a little discussion about it. So I'm going to add this little clip to the video that I'm doing because I think it's a pretty important one, and especially having your suspension so tight that you have no articulation. Your machine is just floating on two wheels at one point. You know, to me, it's crazy. You know, some people do it and they like it. There's no way you'll get me to do that with any of my machines. But I'd like to hear what other people think. You guys let me know what you think about that, all right? And I'll add this and we'll talk later. Bye.